Hello. So I wanted to just talk about the blood supply to the brain. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and share a screen with you so you can follow along looking at the lesson builder as we look at these um, important arteries that supply blood to our brain and um, allow vitality, which is really important that without blood supply, life cannot be supported. That's just fundamental, and that is regardless if it's the cardiac system, but in particular, when we're looking at the brain, this is critically important because without blood supply to the various lobes of the brain and without blood supply and healthy vitality of the brain tissues, nervous system and life cannot be supported, particularly when we're talking about the brain stem. So I really like what we have out here in terms of thinking about, in particular, the organization of our blood supply into our nervous system. You've already had a chance to look at the different lobes of the brain, and so I want to just look at this very wonderful organization of the brain called the circle of Willis, the middle cerebral artery, and the internal carotid artery, as well as the basilar artery. So look at these two wonderful pictures of the circle of Willis. You can see it in here on the bottom view of the brain, then also in expanded zoom, right? Zoom view, so you can see it more visually. So if there's a blockage in, for example, the middle cerebral artery, and we'll talk about the middle cerebral artery a lot when we discuss strokes, people who have a health condition of a stroke. When that blood supply is compromised, these other areas of the brain will try to get around that to continue to promote that vitality and provide the vitality of the brain. So the basal artery is still providing blood supply, the internal carotid artery is still providing blood supply, and they're still going to try to push to get around that blockage in terms of ischemic stroke, which is a more common type of stroke, right? Or some sort of a plaque buildup. So all this is still happening. So the person is still very much alive, even though one part of an artery is occluded. So know where these live in terms of the arteries, particularly those three that I've just pointed out, and know what lobes they provide blood supply to. So it'll help orient you to if there is damage to one of those arteries from a bleed or a blockage, how these other areas or these areas of the brain that promote balance, such as cerebellum, can, in a very real way, you'll have a patient that has the balance problem because there is a blockage of blood supply with the basilar artery. However, I'll say again, these other arteries will try to help support those other parts of the brain, or the parts of the brain that can be compromised because of a blockage. All right, happy learning.